But there's a long tradition of these types of voices of conscience. So I just immersed myself in the world of St. Sabina and spent time with Father Mike and his peacekeepers and the community there and tried to learn as much as I could.
We love you on Windy City Live. Yes, we do. Tell us, how did all this happen? How did this come about?
Well, I play me. I play Val Warner in Chirac, which is really cool. So when people see this movie, they are literally seeing Val, and I am a reporter in the movie.
We talk about the violence, but what can we do personally?
I think we got to be engaged, and I think engaged in a number of things. In our block, in our home, in our neighborhood, we got to be engaged. We got to fight the issues. We got to fight a government that is abandoned, whole communities on the south and the west side. We got to fight a governor who's cut out every youth employment program, who's cut out violence prevention programs, who's abandoned our communities and the poor and the vulnerable. And I think we got to reach out to our brothers on the street and love them and respect them and help them, not just demonize them.
My participation is only because of Mr. Spike Lee, our leader, our director, and he reached out to me and blessed me with the opportunity to be in this film and said that his mission was to save lives in the south side of Chicago.
I'll just say like this. First of all, give you the history of coming to Chicago and telling my jokes as a young cat. I'm 37 now. I started about almost 15 years ago. Elroy taking me under his wing, letting me do some jokes here and there for the radio stations and all that kind of stuff.
We are more than that. We are more than that. We're greater than that. And I feel like in places like this, or Chicago, or whatever you want to call it, the hood, whatever you want to call it, like, it's too much attention dwelled on the negative.
I learned that no matter what you do and how much of a genuine heart you have, and if you're coming from a good place, people are going to criticize if they don't agree with what you're doing.
Hi, we're from Empire, and you're watching the Higher Learning Network.
So how long have you been standing here?
Not too long, like an hour. So we're moving in fast. This is a good sign.
Yo, what's up? It's your man Tony Schofield from 106.3 Chicago's R&B, and you are watching Men on Higher Learning. Now, I used to hang around with some men that was into some higher learning. It just wasn't that kind of higher learning, but I got myself together now, okay?
What is it that you do in your quiet time, in your meditation time, that allows you to bring us the films that you do?
I sit courtside in Madison Square Garden, world's most famous arena.
And you're watching CTV on the Higher Learning Network. Put your head right.
Blog Talk Radio. Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, Executive Producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all.
Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed, into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with Zelda Speaks for your Monday morning mindfulness sessions on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit ZeldaSpeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on higher learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful day. Well, thanks for listening.
They don't fear God as much as they fear losing money.
Yeah.
The money that they need to have fun. And they fear that more than anything. And if they can't have the money that they need to keep having fun, then they are like little children who go into a psychosis of melancholy or anger and have fits of tirades. Because they are basically children. They're basically like little children. They do not have any discipline. They do not have any genuinely moral compass to guide them out of a bad situation. So they react like little children. And that's what we're doing. If you tell a child they can't do something, they'll have a temper tantrum.
You're right.
And that's what these people who are throwing off the mask and defying all the laws, all the rules, all the standards that would give us a fighting chance against this virus. We are our own worst enemy by virtue of the fact that we've been programmed to be little children.
How do you?
The whole thing, and the thing with Christmas is really a very clear indication of how childish and immoral our behavior has become. Christmas ain't about Jesus at all. We don't even talk about Jesus. It's all about Santa Claus and the Easter and the reindeers and the lighting the trees and lighting up the streets with lights and stuff. It's the magical image, the magical idea that is associated with Santa Claus that these people have been given over to and that they are trying to maintain, even in the midst of a deadly, very serious disease. And that's unfortunate, but you reap what you sow.
I would like to ask you to explain something you said that most people may or may not most, but may or may not get a moral compass. Can you explain that?
Morality is fundamental to human life. It's like water. You got to have it. You can't have life without water. You cannot have human life without a sense of morality, what is right and what is wrong. With an inclination towards doing what's right, because it comes from a historical, long-lived practices that establish order and precision in the processes of life. There are certain fundamentals. You have to breathe, you have to drink water, you have to eat, and so on and so forth. Once you disrupt those natural cycles, once you undermine the validity of those practices to the point where people do them if they wanna, they don't do them if they wanna. Mm-hmm. There's no judgment, there's no condemnation, there's no ridicule for people who are immoral in the modern world. You can be as immoral as you want to be, as Donald Trump, and still be the president of the United States. Mm-hmm. And this is a sad commentary on the consciousness. So morals is more than just just something that you can do or not do. If you don't drink water, you will die. Mm. You will get sick and you will die. Mm-hmm. If you don't have morals, you will get sick and you will die. Mm. As a nation, as a society, it's not rocket science. It's just the way it is. And we do not have morals anymore. We don't even think about what's right and what's wrong, except whether it feels good, do it. If it feels good, go ahead. Yep. Have fun regardless. Yep. And that's the mindset that we have to change. We don't survive.
Yeah. I will. If we are to survive this, some years ago, Lionel, when I was studying with Nation of Hebrew Israelites, we went to Canada, and that was my first experience there. And on a Saturday night, Saturday evening, rather. I went to get something to eat. I left my hotel and walked outside because we were having a study group. But we went outside to get something to eat, and it was on a Saturday evening. And I thought for some reason or another, because I was in Canada, it would be quiet on a Saturday night. And I mean, the streets were lit up. People were drunk beyond belief. And I was like, I thought this only happened in America. It's like, no, this was everywhere. It was a rude awakening for me, because I'm thinking that it's just like I said, it's like America, but it's all over. When I saw people drunk, like falling out drunk in the street, just having a good time like it was Mardi Gras, I was just so surprised. And then, as I said, it was an awakening for me to show how the thought process, how we are chained to a certain way of thinking globally. It's all around the world. And with this global pandemic that's going on right now, it highlights it even more, that we are being directed to something outside of ourselves because we've been programmed to do that something's wrong with you if you sit down and get quiet and start breathing and listening to something other than something that's going to scare you or keep you in bondage. Something's wrong with that. So the heck with all of that. Let's go listen to some music. Let's go get drunk. Let's have some fun. So I am with you on that the fact that we need to spend more time inside than outside. Who was that I heard say the revolution will... Oh, Lauryn Hill. I listened to her, and these are some quotes that she used. Lauryn Hill, I think you remember her from the Fugees and the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And she said, the revolution will not be televised, but it will be internalized. How about that? So the real revolution comes from our getting quiet and listening to the still small voice within. Put the party away and listen, because that's the only way that you're going to survive. Because if you think you're going to survive with what you're being told to do, you got another thing coming. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. If you are just joining the conversation this morning, Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque of Community Cultivations, and the discussion is on holiday hiccups, how to keep your sanity in the midst of madness, because this is a mad experience that we are having right now. So if you want to join the conversation, feel free to do so. As we come back, we will take your calls. But right now, we're going to take a quick break, and you stay close, and we'll be back.
What happens when a group of people are kidnapped from their homes, smuggled away in chains, and held captive in a foreign land where they are tortured, raped, and forced to perform hard labor by the lash of a whip and under the constant threat of death? Slavery. The African American psychic trauma. What happened to the doctors, writers, scientists, builders, educators, and spiritual leaders from Africa's golden age? Who did they really capture and sell into slavery? Are all African Americans suffering from psychic trauma because of a conspiracy to hide their true identities? Do you have psychic trauma? Take the test on page 22 of the book and see. Order it online today at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. And get your personally autographed copy of the book, Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma.
Spiritual counselor and advisor. I invite you to a private reading in the areas of business, health, finances, relationships, for introductory cost of $20. Please call, because there is a higher power that can help me help you. 312-802-4743. Peace and blessings to you all. Call me, 312-802-4743.
Oh man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark.
Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456. Do you or your organization need space for an event? Call the Chloe Event Center at 2423 East 75th Street in Chicago for your parties, banquets, award ceremonies, repasses, concerts, and business seminars. Available 7 days a week. Now under new management. Call us at the Chloe at 773-663-2557. That's 773-663-2557.
Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us back here on The Female Solution. Welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. I'm your host, Zelda Speaks, and I am joined by our brother of the microphone, Lionel Abdul Haaque of Community Cultivations. And today's discussion is holiday hiccups, how to keep your sanity in the midst of the madness. One of my sisters of the microphone, Viata, which comes on Sunday night on Soul Purpose Healing and also Friday on Health and Wellness, sent me a little text saying, Gil Scott-Heron. Yes, I know you remember Gil Scott-Heron. Remember the song, Angel Dust? Yeah, that's the one most people remember. But there's also one, the revolution will not be televised. Lauryn Hill said it too. It will be internalized. So that means that the revolution that is to occur has to come from within, not without. It has to come from within us. As Lauryn Hill would say, you can't win if you ain't right within. So we got to go within. We got to do the work on self. As Iyanla Van Zant would say on Fix My Life, she's no longer there. She decided it's time to do something different. This is not an outside job. This is an inside job. But until you make the decision to do the work, because it's going to be painful. Some old stuff's going to come up, like my issues with my sister came up. She was busy having babies, and I'm the babysitter, built-in babysitters, and it's like I'm carrying this trauma around all my life, which is one of the reasons why I didn't have children. It's like I'm sick of babysitting. I don't want to babysit nobody else's baby, including my own. Anyway, I digress. That's another story. But you want to keep that in mind. Let's go to the phone lines. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak as we go to the microphone. Area code 773-436. You are live on the Female Solution, Grand Rising. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your comment?
Hallelujah. Greetings, Global Transformers.
Is that my Mama D? Yay! That's Mama D.
I'm just really totally in agreement with you, Brother Lionel. What I'd like to add is the hiccup is an automatic reflex. But what's happening to us is we have been led astray. Malcolm X said that media was the most powerful entity on earth. And I read in the dictionary that because it controls the minds of the masses. And I read in the dictionary that he is a deity that controls the minds of the masses.
Yes.
In other words, that's who God is. When you don't know the difference between being on God's side and having God on your side, then you have been led over to that reprobate mind. And as a society, as a world society, we are morally bankrupt. Because as you said, see, when you're a child, you're supposed to think like a child and reason like a child. But when you grow up, you're supposed to give up those childish ways. But we are immature. Me eat, me drink, me else. That's what we're about. It's your thing. Do what you want.
Do what you want to do.
And can't nobody tell you.
Who the soccer to?
You know? So,
yes, ma'am.
You said money. Hey, now the money, it says, in God we trust. The money is God. Because it keeps you in that illusionary land. You can be distracted with your sports and play basketball and other kind of balls. And you can be distracted with your eat, drink, and be merry. But when we close your restaurants down, and then what is Little Jack Corner gonna do? He can't eat his cares away. Because you done shut his restaurant down.
Okay.
You done shut his ball playing down. And so that's what we're dealing with now. The distractions. We don't have those distractions, so we got to be still.
Yes.
And know that there's an invisible God controlling an invisible virus, and you got to sit there and watch George Floyd be tortured to death because we done shut you down.
Mm-hmm. You right on the money.
You don't have nowhere to hide, nowhere to run to, and nowhere to hide because that reprobate mind of I don't. There is no good. There is no bad. It's just whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the mess we're in because of that.
Yes, we are. Yeah. You wanted to comment, Lionel?
I agree 100%.
This
is it's not complicated to understand what the problems are. And we've been saying this since I've been coming on the air with y'all, that this is the problem. Cognitive dissonance is a psychological disorder that is based on the existence of two separate ideas that are opposite of each other being held and maintained at the same time in your mind. Truth and falsehood are in conflict with each other. But when it's true and when it's falsehood have an equal position in our lives, fantasy and BS just have a controlling, dominant influence in our lives. And we don't recognize that is a conflict that will make us crazy, insane, that you cannot do that. You cannot have that kind of allegiance and commitment to foolishness and still be sane. It can't happen. And so when you look at all the foolish things, the magic, they got commercials where they talk about just point and your stuff will disappear. And people just, it's so much fun. You're just pointing and making the stuff disappear on the commercial.
Mm-hmm.
You got they can't even sell life insurance, auto insurance without having somebody jumping in and out of a car like magic, changing the scene of what you're looking at right before your eyes, make it look like it turns the car into a wad of money.
Yes.
Magic.
Yes.
This is the mindset that they know they put the American people into, and they don't respond unless you got some kind of foolishness in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the program. That's the program. We've been misled, bamboozled, run up, and led astray with foolishness, magic, illusion, and lies. And we got to get real, as the young people say.
Yes, sir. You are absolutely right on the money. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. Thank you so much, Mama D, for calling in this morning. We appreciate you. Be sure and join Wisdom with Mama D coming up on the what's the date on your next show, Mama D? And also on the 19th, Mama D?
Well, December 18th.
December 18th.
The 151st anniversary of the ratifying of the 13th Amendment. So that kicks off, which actually abolished individual ownership of slaves and made it institutional ownership of slaves through incarceration. So it kicks off spiritual succession, Divinity Day. Just like the South physically succeeded, we're going to have to spiritually succeed, and we have a whole week for kicking it off on the 18th, Spiritual Succession Divinity Day. Weapons of our warfare and our carnival have divine power. So on the day October 16th and December 18th are the Divinity Days by resolution in Chicago since 1995. So we'll be dealing with that whole thing to do to make a more perfect person in order to approach a more perfect union.